Hello everyone, I hope you're having a great day. Today we're going to be doing some watercoloring and I'm going to be painting a nighttime owl, and I'm going to be using these paints that were kindly sent to me by Meeden. I have the 96 color set. I have already done a swatching and first impressions if you'd like to take a look at that video. Today we're going to be looking at how you can customize your palette, and of course I'm going to be painting with them today. Meeden was kind enough to send me 2 more packs of wonderful watercolor paper. It's all 100% cotton. They come in blocks of 20 sheets. There's a 15 by 11 inch as well as a 12 by 9 inch. And I briefly shared one of my favorite sizes, which is the 10 by 7 inch. That is my go-to for like just painting a landscape or something like that. All 4 sides are gummed. There's a little gap at the very top. All you do is stick your palette knife in there, and then it allows you to use a palette knife and take off that little protector page. I think everyone will love the paper. I think everyone will love any of their ceramic palettes. So I'm sharing some of the supplies that I have here on the side. I'll be using a fountain pen and some watercolor brushes. My favorite ceramic palette by Meeden, it is the 10 by 7 rectangular. It's a porcelain palette, so it's really smooth for mixing with your brush. And then I just discovered that the wash bowl that I've been using in almost all my videos, it fits perfect in this, and I don't know why I didn't realize that, but probably because it's usually full of gouache or watercolor, so I never had that empty space. But that's my new setup, and I think I need to order another one of those rectangle ceramic palettes. Here is the watercolor palette. It's kind of a kit. This palette has a really nice wavy textured design, and so when it's a really nice quality plastic palette. You can see on the back it's just smooth, but then you open it up and there's 96 colors. So about any color you can imagine here. There's a top section that holds the metallics. It has 30 different metallic colors, and then in the middle here there's 12 macaron colors. On this side it's the 6 fluorescent colors. Then there's this really nice fold out mixing tray that you can use for mixing area. And then inside and you can just lift it straight up if you want to take it off. So it's really easy to take on and off. There's a nice acetate sheet that tells you all of the color names. It's really nice. And they're for both sections. This set did include these swatch sheets as well as all of the other things that came with this. It has everything you need, really. Here I'm sharing the colors all swatched out on some student grade paper, and it lets me, because it's a bigger area, lets me see the colors a little bit better, so I really like to do that with almost every brand of paints at some point. So here I'm sharing the metallics, and you can see there is a couple colors that are a little samey. But on black paper, they do look really nice. But yeah, some of those colors kind of look very similar. The kit also includes a nice watercolor brush. It is a synthetic water brush, and then we'll talk about that later, along with a nice pencil. These feel pretty nice. They don't feel like your general, really cheapy ones that usually come with budget sets. So here I'm sharing, there's also an eraser. I actually did not use the eraser for anything other than holding my folding palette. I used it as kind of I put it behind the fold out palette, and it allowed me to have a level mixing area. I already shared the swatching in the previous video, so today I'm just going to swatch my favorite colors from this set. I'm swatching them here on some 100% cotton paper, and you can see they have a little bit of flow and everything like that, but my favorite colors are deep magenta, garnet red, plum purple. I'm not sure if it was, I think it's purple, but I also do like the dark purple. I also really liked the olive green. A deep moss green I think is gorgeous. I like so many of these colors, and so I'm just swatching a few of them for you today. Now I'm going to share how weird I can be about customizing my palettes. Now generally I would go and have to rearrange all these paints because I'm kind of crazy like that. I have to have my colors in a certain order. So that's what's nice about this set. You can customize it. I went ahead and took a photocopy of the 2 swatch cards that were included with the kit, and I just put numbers on them. You can see there on the back that I just went ahead and labeled them on the back. That way, if I ever need to know which color it is, I have the number and I have the swatch card, and so I can see which color that is. The little half pans come out. I had somebody on my last video mention they want this just to put artist grade paints in, and because it does look really cool, and I agree. So I had already tried that myself too, because I tried Schmincke, Daniel Smith, Sennelier, Winsor & Newton, Rembrandt, and a Gallo. They all fit. So you'll see there, they all fit. They're just a teeny bit too small though, so they would fall out if you put them on the top half of this palette. But if you put them on the bottom half, and as long as you use that folding mixing palette, that will close and keep them all in place. And they didn't fall out that way. But if you use them on the top half, you're going to have to use some adhesive or something like that. Whenever I get a palette, I kind of want to know what else I can do with it and to find how useful it is. I noticed right away that there looks to be like just a teeny bit of a gap, and so it looked like this plastic part would maybe snap out easy, and that I could remove that section and put a ceramic palette in there, which would be my dream, because then I could have half the paints and then for one side, and then the other half would have a ceramic palette. It did not work. I broke my tweezers, even though I used the back side too. So I really don't recommend trying that. I was afraid I was going to break it, so I gave up. So I did try it for you. So I'm going to begin. I found an image on Unsplash, of course, of this is a barn owl, I believe, and I started sketching it out. And I went ahead and left all the footage of me drawing it, all my mistakes, all my erasing, and you guys will have to let me know, do you like seeing the drawing process, or do you want me just to skip the drawing and go straight to the painting? I would really love to know how much of it you guys want to see. Sometimes I like to leave all my mistakes in because I don't want to be a phony and act like, oh, I drew this thing, it took me 5 seconds, and no. A lot of times it takes me like a while to get in the zone, and when I start off, I feel like I forgot how to draw, and yeah, it takes a while sometimes. So I sketched out the owl, and I got it pretty much how I wanted it. I'm going to use this large brush, and I'm going to wet the paper first. Like many affordable art sets, I feel like they're a great starter, but if you find you love watercolors, I don't think you should wait too long before you invest in just a few professional artist grade watercolors, because there is quite a difference. Kind of dropping in all these different pretty colors, and I really didn't know what I was going to do, but I just kind of kept building the background, and then I'll go in and splatter some gold. I'll let it dry, and I'll keep doing that over and over again. Now I'm just going to go and drop in some color and start adding different colors that I like. I really just wanted to build up a background, and backgrounds are kind of my nemesis. I feel like I'm really bad at them. I haven't experimented very much because Usually when I do, I wind up messing up my painting, but now I started using masking fluid, and I think that's going to help a lot because I don't have to worry about messing up my artwork, which I have done a few times. That's what I like about affordable paint sets, is they kind of give me room to experiment, and so I'm going to drop in all the color. So for this paint set, I do think it is kind of a craft grade, but I know I've already heard from a few of you. They said you really love this set, and I was really glad to hear that. And I think it's a fun set. I think this kit is definitely worth the price. I found the ultramarine was kind of weak, but there's a lot of fun colors, and as you can see, I still liked my painting a lot. Always check the Meeden website as well as Amazon, because sometimes they have really nice sales on the Meeden website. I will also have a 10% off coupon. I have the masking fluid, and it lets me go in and paint really easy, and then I don't have to worry about if I go and color, if I paint and color in all the white areas because I tend to, when I paint, I tend to kind of go too fast because I'm like so excited. And so yeah, using the masking fluid helps me remember to leave those white areas. And so it's been a game changer for me since I started using it. I kind of take turns while the owl is drying, then I'll go back and work on the background more. So I'll just go in and add feathers. It was lovely having this block to paint on. Did do most of this with the paint, and then now I'm going to go in and color the eye. Paintbrush that came with this set, it's synthetic, and it's a really stiff synthetic brush. It also works fine for any fine detail painting. It wasn't good for lifting or getting any washes or anything like that, personally for me. So then I went and let it dry overnight, and this is what it looked like the next day. I removed all the masking fluid. Obviously, I had another coat or two that I did off camera, but I just really kept doing the same thing. I would put all the colors in the background, drop all the colors, and then splatter it with gold. And I really liked the way it looked. And now I'm going to go in and add more colors and shadows and everything for the owl. And I had a lot of fun painting this. I was able to use the Meeden watercolor brush to add little small details, and for that it worked really well. I could get in the eyes and add some little texture with the hair. But for most of this painting, I use the silver black velvet, and those are pretty much my go-to for any painting. Same paintbrush I want to use all the time, and often when I try to use a different one, it just doesn't work. So I just have my comfort little same old paintbrushes I've been using since I started watercoloring. So now I'll go in and try to add more detail to the eyes. I do wind up going and lifting a lot of this back out. But to me, that's part of the fun of painting. I just kind of like exploring and finding out, do I like that or do I, I just kind of go back and forth. So I'll go along and try to add some detail to the eyes and the beak. And I'm showing most of the process of how I painted, all my mistakes. You can see there, I didn't even realize that I had gotten some paint on the chin, so I'm trying to lift it up, and it didn't want to lift too much for that color. So, but that's okay. And then I'll go in and I'll try to add the shadows under the bird's body. And oftentimes when I want to add feathers, you don't have to be scared to do this because I've been doing it forever, and I've had this brush for probably going on, gosh, 5 years maybe. But I will take it and I pretty much just smush it. And I kind of smush it in almost dry paint. And then I really like the feather textures that it gives. So, and then here I'm going along and I add kind of too much paint and then I go back and lift it. I like the texture that it gives. Here I'll go along the bottom and I'm going to try to add some detail for the feathers. A lot of it is because I did use the masking fluid. I'm still kind of new to using masking fluid. I haven't quite got it, I'm doing my best, but I wind up having to correct a lot from using the masking fluid. But I still really find it's worth it because it protects those white areas. But I also like it to make sure that I leave the white areas because I just kind of get excited and then sometimes I forget which area are going to be white. So I find it very helpful. It's just a little layer that keeps me from messing up my painting when I'm doing backgrounds especially. I'm adding some more detail to the eyes, and then you will see later, I did have to finish some of this off camera because I usually let it sit for a while and then I come back to it the next day. And that's when I'll tweak and do the final adjustments. And usually I do that with watercolor pencils. So I did not show me using the watercolor pencils to fix the eyes, but I'll show the final result. But watercolor pencils do take a lot of time, so that's why I don't really share me doing it very often, whereas watercolors I feel like are a fast medium and it comes pretty easy. But yeah, that's typically what I like to do. But also I just kind of like to do it because I enjoy it so much off camera. It's kind of it's just such a relaxing feeling. I really enjoyed this watercolor palette. It's definitely affordable paints. They do have filler. I'm not going to lie to you, but I'll also say there's some paints that a lot of people really love, and that's what these paints are. And I don't know if I want to go. I don't know if you guys want to. I feel like sometimes we should play a game, and it's like, oh, guess who? Guess who else makes these paints? You guys will have to let me know if you like to play that game or not. I do. And you guys will have to let me know if you like this paint set and if you'd like me to do a Christmas edition of this set. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.